Welcome to the Oscars. The Zero Oscars.
Well, you know how we watch Police Academy 4 and 5? Well, they made a 6th one. Was it any better? Not really. It also got a 0%, so we were forced to endure that as well. I'm Kylan.
I'm Eli. Oh my gosh. We did it again.
And I'm Parker.
Our Police Academy expert Parker joins us again.
Yes, sir. Happy to be here.
So, what has everyone been watching the last week that's not Police Academy?
I'm trying to think of what I've watched. Miranda and I watched this show called Search Party. We basically binged that entire thing for the last week or so. Past that, mostly we watch Great British Baking Show. That's about it. So
Nice.
I feel like there's a wave coming back with that show because I've been hearing people talk about it again more and more.
Yeah. It's fun. We started watching it in college and didn't really watch it that much, but since we've been married, we've watched several seasons. So it's just
that makes a lot of sense. I feel like
yeah, it just kind of makes sense.
Well, I watched Coming to America, which was better than I expected it to be, but it was really bogged down with musical numbers, which was not something I was expecting. But besides that, I mean, it wasn't horrible with remember the first movie stuff, which I think most of those kind of it's 30 years later and we're doing a comedy sequel.
Sure.
Things are. So he was all right. I also watched Little Women, which was pretty good. I thought the acting was good.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of boring. I don't know. that might just be me.
I like that one, but yeah, kind of slow.
Well, I don't know if the book is like this or if the other movies that have been made are like that, but the time skipping stuff wasn't. I didn't like it. I don't know. They all look the same, whether or not it's 7 years previous or 7 years later. So
That's true. Yeah.
A scene starts and you're 3 minutes in, and I don't know when we are in the timeline. I didn't really feel like there needed to be a lost level of confusion about where we are.
Yeah.
Little Women, but
So what it needed was some Eddie Murphy musical numbers.
yes. Maybe we should have transitioned that over. But besides that,
share the level a little bit.
Is the 7 years separated? Is that independent of her? Is that her trying to get the thing published, or is that?
That's another thing.
Okay.
So there's her getting it published. That's a whole little separate timeline. And then there's two different timelines separated by 7 years.
Okay. I didn't notice.
Then they converge because at the end of the movie, you're reaching the bit where the earlier part is becoming the 7 years later part.
Gotcha.
Which was sort of satisfying. I don't know. I would have just preferred if it was just chronological, I think. But
there's I mean, maybe not the best because I mean, like you said, the acting is really good, but there's I mean, it's honestly more of a cameo appearance than anything, but there's a certain appearance that's just so random and just perfect. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but I mean, do you guys care if I say it?
Go ahead.
But Bob Odenkirk.
yes.
Yeah, he's just my little women. And that part is just yes.
Well, because I didn't know he was in it, because obviously there's so many other main characters and huge actresses.
Yeah.
And then it's Bob Odenkirk is the dad. All right.
Yeah, that part's great.
Yeah.
It's just unintentionally just hilarious. It's all right. That was good.
Yeah.
John, what are you
John?
I was looking at my letterbox and I realized I've watched a lot of stuff since we watched Highlander 2, which is out of sequence. I mean, since I watched Dream a Little Dream. But I guess just to hit a couple high notes, I guess I'm on a Linklater crusade because obviously we all watched School of Rock, and then I watched Dazed and Confused for the first time. And then I rewatched Before Sunrise last night, so that was good. Definitely one of my favorites. It's a little more like rom-commy than I remember, which is fine, but it's making me want to watch the later ones more because it's in that trilogy where they're 9 years separated and just looking at the same relationship at 2 points in time. And so that makes me really excited to go to the one that's maybe a little less stereotypically falling in love, romantic comedy, because I think it subverts and like grows in that space in a really cool way. So I'm really excited to rewatch those. But I also watched Dread from 2012, which is good. Very like hyper violent, stylized, like that kind of genre, which is not really my thing, but it was like entertaining enough. And I also watched Attack the Block with young John Boyega, which is very good. I think it's a good time. It's a lot of kids weirdly not talking about Fortnite, but saying a lot of things that I expect kids who play Fortnite to say. Yeah. Beating off aliens with baseball bats. It's a good time.
I'm glad you added the baseball bats part.
Yeah.
Does that sound like fun?
They just whack those aliens right off.
Well, since it's been 8 days since our last recording, I have watched a total of 8 Nick Cage movies since then.
Incredible.
2 of them I thought were really good. One of them was Matchstick Men, which is from 2003, where he plays a con artist. I thought it was really good. And the other is Adaptation, which is a Charlie Kaufman film. And Nick Cage plays Charlie Kaufman and Donald Kaufman, his twin brother, in the movie. So Nick Cage talks to Nick Cage a lot. But the whole movie is him trying to adapt the book The Orchid Thief into a movie. But in the movie, he's writing the screenplay for the movie you're writing. It's wild. I loved it so much.
I've heard really good things about that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
fantastic.
I've
I
heard of
highly
that
recommend it. I've been ranking all the Nick Cage movies, and I have that at number 2, which I think it's better than the number 1 movie I have ranked, which is The Rock. I just enjoyed that a lot. But I think this is a better movie, and it's one of the 3 best ones I've seen of his, up there with like Leaving Las Vegas and stuff like that. It's just fantastic.
What is the worst Nick Cage movie you've seen so far?
Well, I saw that in the last week as well. It is the 2001 Christmas Carol, the movie. I hated it so much.
Wait, 2001 A Christmas Carol?
Yes. It's animated. I hated it. It had Nick Cage in it. It had Dumbledore in it.
It
had
has
a lot of
Hal.
It had a lot of big voice actors, but I hated it so much. I did not like the animation. I was like, this is not... you're not doing anything like super unique with the story, so why does this exist?
Was that a Disney thing?
I don't know. I just know it was a bad thing.
Okay. I think the Disney one was actually live action, but I'm trying to think of Christmas Carol movies.
I feel like we had that on like HD DVD, or maybe I'm thinking of a later one.
I remember watching that back when I was a kid a little bit, and I hated it. Of a live action movie that's been the worst. I didn't like Wild at Heart, which is a David Lynch film, but it's not a terribly made. It's just I was bored and confused. But Zonderlee was a very, very bad movie overall. Nick Cage has a goatee. At one point, he starts throwing black paint on himself while crying. It's weird.
You said that was the David Lynch movie?
No, Wild at Heart was the David Lynch movie.
Gotcha.
That one, I can see where someone else would like that movie. I just didn't. Zonderlee was just pure garbage, though. No one would like that movie.
How many have you seen in total now?
35.
That's impressive.
I've got like
I'm
60
impressed.
more to go.
60 or 16?
60.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Yeah, I'll be doing this for another couple months.
That's pretty astounding. I did not know he had that many.
He's in so many movies. In 2019, he was in 2 movies. Or 6 movies, in 2019.
Wow.
One of which we will be watching on the Zero Oscars. But before that, we get to watch
Nice.
Deadfall, which was beautiful. I cannot wait till we get to review Deadfall. It is the greatest performance I've ever seen by an actor in anything.
So you're giving your superlative ahead of time.
It is the greatest performance any actor's ever done. No one will ever top Nick Cage in Deadfall.
Now I have to watch it too.
Dude, it's so good.
I'm like, I feel inferior that Kylan has watched 35. He's like a third into his 95 films, but I think we're technically 17 or 20 into 75 that we started, like a year ago?
Oh, yeah. That list also grows every day when a bad movie comes out.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I feel like his grows faster.
Well, yeah, he makes so many.
Yeah.
Hey, we get the unbearable weight of massive talent soon, and that's going to be wonderful.
Is that a real title?
Yes, Nick Cage plays Nick Cage in it, who goes to like this Mexican billionaire who's a huge fan
Yes.
birthday party, and I think that's going to be played by Pedro Pascal. And either way, the guy's like a drug lord and holds his family captive and makes Nick Cage perform some of his old roles.
I've heard about this. Yeah.
I'm very excited for it. But yeah, we all watched Police Academy 6.
We did.
City Under Siege. So yeah.
Can we go ahead and jump into time summaries?
Yeah.
You could feel the mood fall as soon as we mentioned Police Academy.
Yeah. It was a good energy in the studio.
It didn't have Nick Cage in it.
Yeah. So I forgot who has what.
I think I did 10 seconds last time, so I think I have 20. And then I think Eli had 20, so he has 15, and John has 10, I think.
Sure.
I could be mistaken.
Well, okay. Here's another wrinkle too, because technically we introduced Parker into the rotation last time.
Oh.
So in reality, I want to say that Eli had the 5 seconds last time. I don't know.
Parker would be at 15 because he started with 5.
Right.
Okay.
Johnny, you want 20? I can take 10.
Wait.
Or vice versa, then?
I'm saying Eli already did 5.
Oh, okay.
So either you or I can take 5.
I can take 5 because I had 10 last time.
You give me the large 20. I don't know what to do with it. I wanted the 5, but here we are.
Oh, you can have the 5 if you want it.
No, it's too late. I'll take the 20. I'm here to be difficult. All right. I'm going to count myself in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so there's this really nice guy named Harris, and he's constantly harassed by a group of vandals who want to destroy his life in every aspect. Also, there's some criminals who are just kind of having a real good time. They're shooting their like Nerf guns, and dad gets really upset at them. But it's all a great time. There's a man who has like Alzheimer's who's also a police captain. That's about it.
You really touched on a lot of details there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is why I'm really glad to have had the 20.
So this is me.
Yes.
Okay.
You ready for me to count you in?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, 4 our previous Police Academy stars come back together again to hate each other and to try to tackle an unknown threat of criminals who actually have someone bigger underneath them. There's a lot of double crossing and intrigue.
A very layered movie for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
More complicated than Mank, critics rate.
Oh, without a doubt.
All right, Eli, are you ready for me to count you in for the 10-second slot?
Yeah.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
So Otto, the German farmer from Malcolm in the Middle, is the mayor now, and he wants them to like solve a crime wave or something. He is the bad guy.
Early spoilers.
It was necessary.
Truly.
I knew it was Otto.
I'm glad someone said it.
Yeah. All right, and with the coveted 5-second slot, Kylan, are you ready to summarize all of Police Academy 6 in 5 seconds?
I think I am.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Police are children, and Littlefoot's grandfather is a bad guy.
Call out.
Oh yeah, I knew he was Littlefoot's grandfather. I knew I recognized that voice from something.
Wait,
Great
from what?
connection there.
From Land Before Time.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
He's also known as Otto, the German farmer from Malcolm in the Middle.
Quite the filmography from this guy.
Oh yeah.
I was sad to see him in Police Academy 6. It's sort of a tough balance where I want there to be more recognizable actors, so maybe the movie would be good, but then I feel bad for them
Because
Yeah.
the movie's not good.
because it's so bad.
It's like you've trapped them in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's also King Triton on Little Mermaid.
He's Jason Momoa.
He's Jason Momoa. Gosh, what a glow up. That's big.
Which way?
Jason Momoa to Kenneth Mars.
Amazing.
If I remember correctly, this beautiful film starts with Proctor and Captain Harris on a stakeout. Is that correct?
Mhm. Yeah, and it's. Is it actually Christmas, or are they just singing? Is one of
It's
them just singing
August.
Christmas?
It
Okay,
says Christmas is 5 months away.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, like, I kind of missed that detail. I was like, surely it's not actually Christmas, or they would have like 100% used that throughout the
Yeah.
movie. Okay.
I did really appreciate Proctor's spirit, though.
He was ready to go.
Proctor's just he's just happy to be there. Same old shtick with them. Proctor being like, "Hey, something's happening," and Harris is like, "No, let me finish this long rant about something." The same thing from the previous 5 films.
Yeah. They make sure you remember it. They use that one
Yeah.
quite a few times.
Yeah. And that's the introduction to the gang, I guess. Jeez. And yeah, that's the introduction to the gang. But then at that point, I guess you don't really necessarily know that there's more going on. You just think maybe, this is like sort of like petty crime and they're trying to stop it. But obviously they're incapable of stopping it. And then like all the other police show up. Is that right? To kind of clean it up. But then, yeah, that is the introduction, I guess, to the gang, who is the antagonist of the film.
Right, the Wilson Heights gang.
Right, yeah.
The mayor is like, we need to figure this out, so they bring in Captain Lassard or Commandant Lassard's team of all the people from the previous movies. His nephew, who was just introduced in the last movie, Hightower, Hooks, the beautiful Tackleberry, and the rest.
I still don't think I could tell you the names of any of those characters other than Hightower. And Eric, I think, is Lassard Jr. Okay, I guess maybe I remember more because Lassard.
Tackleberry.
Which one of them is the one that always makes the sound effects?
I think that's Jones.
Okay.
Jones.
Yeah, he gets to do that a lot in this one.
Yeah. I did like their introduction to Tackleberry. He has a minefield around his house, which really fits with his character.
Oh yeah, he has his like son, right? Because they both.
Yeah.
They both are like on the
He's-
draw.
He's asleep and he hears a noise and he just pulls like a semi-automatic rifle out of his pillow. Actually, no, it's probably fully automatic. What am I talking about? This dude later on uses a full-on machine gun.
All the revolvers have such long barrels. Like, what is the deal with that? They're like that long.
To really stabilize and control the shot, it's just good.
Yeah, it's like the Joker bang gun.
Well, it makes it closer, so if you get the barrel to be super long, you can hit a guy really accurately from like
True, you just
super
like
far away.
yeah.
I don't know why they don't make rifles that are like 2 miles long. You just point blank, easy.
Yeah, right in front of their face.
Yeah.
I don't remember like the chronology of this movie at all. It's just a lot of scenes that happen.
Well, when they introduced the mayor, he like stumbles around his words, and I legitimately thought the actor was forgetting his lines while watching it.
That would have been a great bit within the movie.
Apparently, him doing this was not in the script. He improv'd all of like being forgetful.
I
He
love
thought it
that.
would be a good. He thought it'd be a good character choice. So he's like, I'm doing this.
I thought it was funny.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
I thought it was endearing. It's not like an amazing gag, but I think it's like he has enough. I don't know, like enough like charisma, or just like he keeps it interesting enough where it's like, okay, like passable.
Thackler, one of the cops, is back. The one who's super clumsy and destroys everything. He was in the first 3 movies. If any of you've seen the original one, he's the one who, when he drives to the police academy, his wife jumps on the hood of his station wagon.
Is he the one who's holding a hot dog?
Yes.
I don't remember.
Okay.
He
I
eats a
just
hot
know-
dog and like people are dying behind him.
Yeah. He sets off a bunch of fireworks.
Is it the same actor?
Yeah.
Dang.
He just came back for this movie.
Must have been a rough year for him or something.
Or, I mean, maybe they offered him big bucks. This is the only one that didn't like start off number 1 at the box office, I think. So
Dang.
they had money.
The audience learned after only 5 films.
Gosh, I'm trying to remember what happens.
Stuff. I mean,
We see the criminals rob a bank at one point. One of them has a whip and can flip around and stuff. He's Indiana Jones.
they each have their own little specialties, right?
Yeah.
We got the big, strong guy who just is strong. That's his thing. That's his whole personality in life, is that he's a big person. Flippy guy, I feel like, had like 3 specialties. He was flippy, he had the whip, he had like dynamite on him. We really could have spread that out, I think.
We could have given the big guy the dynamite.
Yeah,
Yeah. He'll both like destroy you with hands and with dynamite.
yeah. And then what? The guy with the gun?
Yeah, who's
That's
like
the
the
personality
leader of them, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, young Ace. Yeah.
They had names.
That's what I said. I only know it because I looked him up on Letterboxd, and he's in Chucky 2. Child's Play 2.
The big guy is Ox and the whip guy's Flash.
Ace.
All right, sure.
I very much enjoy them, I'll be honest, because it will like have sequences of them like committing these crimes, but then they'll go back to their base and they're like talking to the whole setup is that they don't know who is like the mastermind of their crimes. He's like solicited them. So he talks like through a screen. So you see the classic silhouette and he's got like the distorted voice. And as he's like going on about my master plan, like they all start like playing around. Like at one point they just kind of like start taking out water guns and start like roughhousing. And then he's like, we've talked about this before. And he like pushes like a bank teller thing and like makes them he's like, you can have these after the crime wave is over. Makes them like put in like their Nerf guns. It was very funny.
I did appreciate that. It was pretty good. I don't know why, but at one point I wrote in my notes, I need a Captain Thackler Crash Course Conway team up. I think that'd be a fun film.
Elaborate.
They're both clumsy, and they're both in movies that have 0% scores.
Oh my gosh.
You put them both
That'd be
on make them both roller skating cops, and you got a movie.
It's the crossover we need.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys had this experience, but I felt bad for Harris through most of this movie. Like, I get he's a bit of an ass, but like it really did just feel like a man who was like had been traumatized, and he's just like, please. He's like, I know they're going to destroy my life, and they're like actively plotting to destroy his life, and he's like just cannot catch a break.
He also just wants to solve
the stuff to like prove like, oh, like we are not supposed to like him, we're supposed to enjoy his suffering. But it did seem genuinely sad existentially at points for Harris, and I felt kind of bad.
Like, he just wanted to solve the crime. And they blew up his car with a grenade.
It's also like he keeps trying to escape. Like he moves to other precincts.
Yeah.
They just keep pulling him back in.
Yeah, it's weird because he's not doing anything to really provoke their ire in this one. In fact, he's actively trying to avoid it. but he literally just cannot because they keep hounding him to the ends of the earth. It's like that like extremely slow death with an extremely ineffective weapon. He's the man running from the guy with the spoon. That's how I see it, at least.
I feel that there was a point where I kind of questioned that. I was like, does he deserve this? This is like, I don't know, because he is very like assholey at the same time. So it's on that line, I think, for me.
Yeah, it's weird, right? Because he is very assholey and he like really like bullies Proctor especially, but he's not like they're not doing it to make up. They're not doing it to avenge Proctor. They're just doing it because they're dirtbags.
I mean, yeah, they also don't like Proctor. In previous films, they've messed with him too.
No one's safe from their pranks.
Yeah.
I don't know what happens in this movie. I'll be honest. I watched it and it just sort of happened in front of me.
It's like gag followed by a gag.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like in this one, especially, there's just so many like separate scenes that were just there to be gags, and just like kind of were existing. They kind of split up the characters, so there'd be a couple characters doing one thing, and they would have a gag scene, but like they wouldn't really be doing anything in that scene. It would just kind of be happening, like you said, and then I mean, they would kind of like like you said, there would be like a robbery or like some sort of crime, and then they would rendezvous with the guy. But yeah, no, I feel like I kind of felt the same way. And I mean, then in the end, I guess like, they had like their one big like switch up or whatever. But yeah, it was one of those movies that kind of just like you said, even more so than in the other ones, which is saying a lot, but like it just kind of bumbled along. Just kind of happened.
I did appreciate that it at least seemed that the villains were more competent in this one. Even though they get caught in the end. But
had a little bit
had,
more personality.
Yeah. In the other ones, they're just like, I rob a bank and then I run away.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's true. I was thinking the same thing. It's a little bit more realized in this one, as far as like actually having like the antagonists.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say probably the second best villain group outside of obviously Bobcat. We all miss him.
I
Zed.
don't remember who that is.
I think his name was Zed. He was the one who talked really like he was going out of his way to talk weird.
Yes,
But he wasn't a villain.
No, he was a villain in the one before we started watching him.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
And then he became a cop.
He was so odd. That was so bizarre.
He was the heart of the series, truly.
Yeah, I missed him, honestly.
They eventually find out the crimes are following some bus route. And they're like, the subway's underneath that. And they're like, this explains stuff.
Kylan, you forgot the scene where the cops go and rap at people.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that was so bad.
Hightower and Hooks.
I did think that scene was kind of funny.
They rap and threaten police brutality.
Yeah, they're like, or I'm going to come back and shoot you. I was like, okay, that's a little aggressive.
But he did say word at the end, and they seemed really impressed. So
Word.
no harm, no foul.
Yeah, that scene was a choice.
We have, I can't remember the name of the character, but the woman that everyone likes. Just a lot of
strong woman
following her around.
Yeah.
Did she say anything in this movie?
I don't remember a single line.
There's that one part where she's lifting and watching the guy like get his like chest crushed in, but I don't think she says anything.
When, like at the end, when she beats up like 7 guys, and some other cop comes and has like a giant gun, she says that's a big gun. That's all
She
I
does say
remember.
that.
Really.
Oh, it's like the really big cop. Yeah, he's like, I guess supposed to be really attractive. And she's like, that's a big gun.
Yeah. I also think
Cutscene.
near the end, there actually, now that I think about it, there is a point where she says, "Let's play," when it's like 7 guys and they're just like wailing at it. But she has, I feel like even less. She never had a character, but she has even less of a character it's just like increasingly like more Flanderized, where it's just like woman.
Well, there was one scene, one gag with her that I thought was very funny, if not just the same joke again. But when she's going for a jog and she's like putting her music in, and the camera pans to show like 10 or 15 guys just waiting to jog behind her, and then they start running. Like that was kind of funny, even though it was the same exact joke that they've been making for 6 movies at this point. But at least there was some camera work involved. I don't know.
Speaking of jokes they've been making for 6 movies, I did somewhat enjoy when Tackleberry was like driving a taxi and the guy's like, "Come on, get me my spot," because he was like undercover. He just turns around and says, "Get out," while holding like the pin of a grenade. He was willing to go down too.
There's a lot of that threatening explosives.
Yeah, these are really bad cops.
It's a really explosive laden movie.
It really was, yeah. Lots of explosions. There's the dynamite thing. There's the grenades. The TV's randomly exploding in that chase scene when they're in that store. And like all the little like CRT TVs just like go up in flames and just like blow up in sequence. And it's like, okay, like what was the cause of this?
Try to see. Okay, so when they found out about the bus route, they were like, they're doing this crime to lower property values. So, because then, you know, when the crime wave ends and they put a new subway in, the property values will rise. So they find that out, and then they chase down like the gang or whatever to the sewers. Tackleberry comes in after saying he needs a few things off his bike, full camo, a machine gun, just a bunch of, you know, high-tech equipment. And they go and they fight the people. Hightower fights the big guy who makes a bad joke, so Hightower knocks him out.
That was like the most like defining line of this entire series for me, I think. I was like, this is it. Like this is Police Academy. Just
Bad jokes is
distilled
where I draw the line.
to one-liner, yes. And then yeah. That was everything, honestly.
I enjoyed that a lot. It was well done. Fighting is one thing, but bad jokes are where I draw the line. Punch, thunderclap, man falls over. That was the great.
Yes.
I enjoyed that. It was a good time.
Exquisite.
Jones fought Flash, and they had some weird karate stuff happening, and then Jones pretended to be a robot, which this Flash guy believed because he had a few wires sticking out of him was going. He was like, "This guy is a robot for real."
Oh my gosh.
I do appreciate that Jones always manages to find someone who knows like karate or kung fu to fight somehow. I also like that he was like doing like it was an old like fighting movie dubbed over the way he moves his mouth but speaks at a different time. I think that's pretty cool.
I feel like it's the most fun stuff to do.
Yeah. Even though it just sort of boils down to noises.
Then Tackleberry and Ace have a shooting competition where they like see who can write stuff better with their guns.
Just all perfect good stuff.
Yeah, this is high quality cinema.
Do we have anything else we wish to say about the plot?
There's the whole thing about what's his name like getting framed for the.
That's right.
Oh yeah,
because it was in his office. So then they all turned against him.
Yeah, because
that was like midway through.
Yeah, the whole underlining current is that they think there's a leak in the police department and they're trying to figure out who it is. So at one point, Lassard is clearly framed, and he seems very surprised. But he hasn't ruled it out. But so they're trying to find who's the one who's tipping off the gang to pass on this information.
we want to hop out and then hop back in because we're under a minute.
Yeah, let's do it.
It was apparently had Jones is like the only one to appear like in all of those as a main character. Like he's even in the TV show a lot. Apparently, he was committed to this role.
Stick to that hustle.
Yeah. Well,
Do we have anything else we want to say about the plot part of this movie, or shall we move?
Well, we still haven't even talked about the very end.
Yeah, the ending. Yeah.
The I guess he's Lassard, not Mahoney. Goes into like where the mastermind guy was, and he starts trying to poison him. And then Hightower comes in and like kicks down some doors and stuff. They have a high-speed chase in a monster truck. And
They do.
yeah, which the monster truck is a newer version of the monster truck that Tackleberry drove on his honeymoon in a previous film. It even has a name. Let me see. This was the Bigfoot 7. In Police Academy 2, he drove the Bigfoot 3.
And
So really making some through lines for the Police Academy series.
It's a nice callback for those who have seen all of the movies. Yeah, they have a chase. They get back, and they go into like Hearst, who's like a commissioner. They go into his office, and they're like, "Huh, we chased the criminal here," and he's like, "I don't know what you're talking about." And then Hearst walks in, and they're like, one of those things. And they say they're going to do the Pinocchio test, and they start pulling on his nose. And the real Hearst is like, "Ow." And the other Hearst, they pull the mask off, and the mayor is there. And he starts acting really wacky. He no longer has that like weird, doesn't know what he's going to say thing anymore. And apparently Harris was the leak because he kept telling the mayor everything. That's the
I would say then the mayor was the leak.
Yeah. I mean, you'd think the mayor would have some. It's not unreasonable to tell the mayor about your like plans.
He was reporting directly to the mayor, is my understanding.
Yeah. They really treat Harris unfair.
Free Harris.
Oh, they almost kill him at the end when they're giving out like medals because they tie a bunch of balloons to his chair and he starts floating away, presumably to his death.
Yeah,
that's that. Yeah.
Until we see Police Academy 7, we won't know.
He flew all the way to Russia.
See if he's back.
Then they just wanted to sit down.
So many times they mess with this chair. There's like 3 times. That's 3 times in this movie alone that they mess with this chair.
They also have backups on backups because he'll like check the first chair and he'll be like, okay, this is clearly booby trapped, and then he'll sit on the next chair, and that was also set up. I can only assume they had dozens of contingency plans for any possible seat.
Every untaken chair was trapped.
Also the taken ones, I can only assume.
Well, yeah, they really take one for the team. They're that committed. But yeah, that's Police Academy 6.
Powerful. I would say the best one we've seen.
Really?
Yeah.
This is better than 5.
It's better than 5 for sure.
Yeah. 100%. 5 was just garbage.
Not good, yeah.
Well, I think next up is trivia, which I have us a few trivia questions. Now, Eli was a fool and looked at a list of people involved in the film, so he knows the answer to this one.
No, I was ranking it on Letterboxd.
So this one, I made it up. You may have seen this one, but the director of Police Academy 6 is humorously named what? A. Seymour Butts. B. Richard Licker. C. Peter Boners. D. Michael Hunt. Or E. Heath Cockburn. One of those is the name of the director of Police Academy 6.
I have to step out because I accidentally also already found this out. I was not trying to. It just happened to me.
It was very clear when you see it. It's like, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Is it Richard?
It is not. The director of Police Academy 6 was Peter Boners.
Oh my goodness.
What a life.
Even better than I thought.
Every other Letterboxd review is just, that's pretty funny.
Well, speaking of funny names in the film, actor Brian Seaman who played Flash, was allowed to do his own stunts because he was trained in what? A, he was a trained martial artist. B, he was a professional wrestler. C, he was a gymnast. Or E, an explosives expert.
I'm gonna say he has to be a professional wrestler.
Let's say he's a gymnast because of the
I'll
flaps.
go for the martial arts.
Well, Parker was correct. He was a gymnast. I had to do
Yeah.
that question because it flows so well from the director being Peter Boner. Now, this one I really thought was interesting. So the bank that the Wilson Heights gang robs during the film is the same bank from which of the following movies? A, The Dark Knight. B, Spider-Man 2. C, Baby Driver. D, Good Time. Or E, Heat.
I think I've seen all those except for Heat, but
Is there a bank robbery in Good Times? Am I misremembering that movie?
They rob a bank at the very beginning.
At the very
That's-
you're right.
That's why
yeah,
they're on the run.
that's what they're running. You're right.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it's The Dark Knight because I feel like in that one the ceilings are really high. I don't even really remember the interior of the bank.
Weird that this movie did not stick with you. Because you weren't counting.
Yeah, shockingly enough, yeah. I don't know, maybe Spider-Man 2. I remember that scene, but I don't. Yeah,
I'm locking in Good Time.
Good Time.
I
Eli.
think I'm gonna go with Spider-Man 2.
Well, you and Parker are correct. This is the bank where Spider-Man fought Doc Ock,
nice. Okay, very
which
nice.
maybe the most interesting thing about Police Academy 6 is that Spider-Man was eventually in that bank.
Where was the bank?
I don't know, actually. I'll see if I can find
Yeah,
out.
I'll have to find out what city it's in.
Because I know they have a lot of references to this being in New York, but they
Yeah,
never actually say
yeah.
it's in New York.
Yeah, a lot of times movies are filmed in other places to be in New York, so
It doesn't say on IMDb. It does say it was also used in the making of Usher's music video, DJ Got Us Fallen in Love, featuring Pitbull.
yes.
If one of the Police Academy ensemble was secretly Spider-Man, which one would it be?
The clumsy guy, I would
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
Which one is that?
I don't know.
Fackle.
Oh, yeah.
He'd putting on a front.
Yeah. It's really a Darth Jar Jar type of situation.
Is overcompensating, yeah.
No. Does that imply he's maliciously attacking people that hot dog them?
Yes. He's hurting them so that they won't find out who he is.
Hurting people hurt people.
All right. The final question. This film would mark the final time in Police Academy that which of the following characters would appear? A, Commandant Lassard. B, Sergeant Jones. C, Sergeant Tackleberry. D, Captain Harris. Or E, Sergeant Jones's mustache.
Is that a character?
I think it's a character.
I don't want any of them to go.
Yeah.
Every time one of these characters leaves, the movies get worse.
Well, I will tell you, Hightower and Hooks are not in the next movie. I do remember that.
No.
That's why they're not involved in this question.
Dang.
Lassard.
You go on the Sard?
Well, we know it's not Jones because of what you said earlier.
Unless.
Unless that was a fake out. I guess I'll go Tackleberry because he's the one I would miss the most, maybe.
I'll just say the Jones mustache.
Well, Parker is correct. His mustache is gone. In the 7th movie.
Farewell.
They all get to say, yay.
So this was the first time he had a mustache since the 3rd movie. But this is the first time he was correctly depicted on the poster since the third movie, because in the fourth and fifth movies' posters, he was incorrectly drawn with a mustache.
Oh my goodness. Incredible attention to detail.
It probably goes there.
Yeah. There were also some deleted scenes with Vince Neil, the lead singer of Motley Crue, was in a deleted scene in this movie, which I would have loved to see as a fan of them, but there was, yeah. Another, it wasn't a cameo, but if you remember when they're driving the bus and they say, look out for Gene and Roger's fruit stand, that's in reference to Gene Siskel and Roger Ebert, who said that in every previous Police Academy movie, stunt drivers drove through a fruit stand or rubbish bin.
Oh, is
Then-
that the scene where they
That's
go
pretty
out
cool,
there,
actually.
like, go around the fruit stand?
Yeah. They called it Gene and Rogers because of Gene Siskel, and Roger Ebert, which both of those also gave the movie a bad review afterwards, even though they appreciated the call out.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that is Police Academy 6 stuff.
I do like a good Ebert and Siskel call out.
Oh, yeah. They need to be called out more.
The only other one I know is from Independence Day, when they named the mayor and his the incompetent mayor and his like assistant Siskel and Ebert
Amazing.
just to make fun of him. The director didn't like him, so he just
These are the
Made them
only two
super
movies that had the courage to call out Siskel and Ebert.
Big reviews.
Is that Independence Day? Wait, no. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Godzilla. Similar movie. Forget I said anything.
In both movies, Will Smith drives a spaceship.
Yeah, this is true.
That's every movie, though, John.
Yeah,
In this movie, Police Academy 6, Will Smith was driving the spaceship.
I saw him.
There's a deleted scene.
In the background.
Can we talk about can we jump back for a second and talk about how bad the laser effect is when they shoot the laser to cut open the armored car?
Yes. It didn't even look like they were going around it. They just stayed in the same place the whole time with, like, the sparks.
It's just the guy holding up a little toy gun, and then he like holds it, and then it like, it's the fakest looking thing I've ever seen.
They used up all their budget on the chase scene. They couldn't use it for that.
Fair enough.
Well, Eli mentioned last time doing a new segment where I replace one character
Oh,
with
yeah.
Danny DeVito.
Oh my gosh.
And as per usual, it will be a child I'm replacing with Danny DeVito. The kid who gets off the bus and says, "You're much better than the regular driver." I just want that to be Danny DeVito.
Yes. That would be a great one.
I would replace Proctor, if only for the scene when they're on the skyscraper and he's like reaching over top of Captain Harris, like with the squeegee, and then also the part where Harris falls, and then it's like Danny DeVito trying to pull him up, so it makes more sense that Proctor's hand is slipping. I'm slipping, sir.
An excellent segment that I forgot that I suggested.
Eli, who would you make Danny DeVito be in this?
Who would I make Danny DeVito? Oh my gosh, I wasn't ready. I think if, as much as I like Jones, it would be very funny to me if someone without the ability to make those noises had to try all the same. So it's just Danny DeVito going, rah, rah.
Danny DeVito's doing Jimi Hendrix.
Oh yeah,
Wearing the wig.
the guitar solo.
Oh,
That was pretty cool.
That was really cool.
can you
Yeah.
imagine him doing the robot?
Much more believable.
Oh.
I was going to say Jones, but I won't since it was already said. So I guess I'll go with, you said his name is Ox, the big guy, the enforcer. We just have DeVito as the enforcer.
He could be dressed up like the trash man.
Yeah.
It's just him beating up Hightower.
Yeah, he's like just like punching upwards.
I should have remembered this when we started the segment.
Oh yeah.
King.
I want to have that fight when him be Hightower, so he can say, fighting is one thing, but bad jokes are where I draw the line, and then fly into the air.
Yes.
There's a lot of possibility.
Just for that scene, yeah. That would be a
If
good
he was
one.
Jones, he does all the flips and stuff with the like the broomstick.
A good segment, Eli. You can stay on the pod.
Oh, thank you. Oh, I got to come up with another segment by next week, though.
Another 2 segments on my desk by Monday.
No, 2 segments. What's our next movie?
I think it's Return to
Mission
Blue
to
Lagoon.
Moscow. Oh, never mind.
Mission to Moscow.
I
Will
was
be
to say,
coming up.
Our next movie, yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the subtitle. It doesn't have 7 on it, does it? It's just Police Academy Mission to Moscow, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Wow, that's a game changer.
I know, right?
That is
Big choices being made.
we have 4 movies between now and then,
Okay.
based on when this is being filmed.
Sure.
Yeah. So I guess sequel pitches.
Enough.
They don't go to Moscow.
I think I've got it. In order to make a good movie, no, a great movie, you need a challenge that equals or rivals your heroes. I think I've thought of such a challenge. It's the search for Jones's mustache. His mustache has gone missing. We have to find him. It might go to Moscow. I don't know. That's all I got. I'm just saying that's what's going to happen.
There it is.
Yeah.
I really hope that's the movie. And they find out the real mustache was the friends he made along the way.
It's the one thing Jones can't imitate via sound.
Okay, so I'm going to sort of steal part of what John had mentioned earlier about how, what's his name? The bad guy? Not the bad guy, the cop that everyone bullies.
Harris.
Harris, yeah. I don't know the names of these characters. So stealing the idea that Harris is just a good guy in a bad situation, you know, I think it would open with sort of a montage of all of the pranks and the pain that the group has caused on him, and then close-ups of just his broken body, his like scowl, voiceover lines. We cut to him just going to bed one night, you know. He's maybe 10, 15 years older. He's alone, right? He has no friends. He's alone. He has nothing. He has no one. He dies of a heart attack in bed. He thinks finally, sweet release. He wakes up in hell, and they're there too. But hell isn't like, I guess that's his torture, right? Is just constantly being undermined and chased around, almost solving a crime, but not really getting to be the one to do anything for eternity. So it's sort of an existential, you know, it's sort of like the Paradise Lost trilogy.
It's the modern day.
A little more highbrow. What was that?
It's the modern day No Exit.
Yeah, yes. And maybe there's redemption at the end. Who knows? This is just the pitch. I don't have to tell you.
You mean redemption for the rest of the cops?
No. No, they're demons. They were never real.
Oh, that's true. Well,
My pitch. This is the sequel to have us. Is this to have it connect to Mission to Moscow, or is this just anything at all?
it can be anything.
Okay, I'll try to connect it anyway. So, like any truly, great movie franchise that goes on way too long, what Police Academy really needs is a space movie. So It won't take
Yes.
place in space mostly, but since Mission to Moscow, there's just going to be Space Race 2. There's just going to be another space race that happens, and somehow the police academy force they get tasked with leading the charge. So it's all about that. It's all about beating Russia at the space race again, and they're just trying to get to space, and the police academy's the best, so they're the ones who are doing it. So Jones gets to make a lot of alien sounds. Our guy gets to suffer a little bit more before he dies and goes to hell in the movie after this. So yeah, there we go.
Incredible.
It's the
Mine
swan
is-
song of his suffering.
My sequel pitch is playing off, similar to Parker, playing off the time that this came out. Is that the Cold War? I don't know exactly when it ended, but I know it was around this time. So I'm saying it's still going on when they go there. They are sent because the president knows if anyone's going to be able to get to the nukes that Russia has and disable them, or accidentally shoot them off. You don't really know. That's the real conundrum, is by sending Harris, Lassard, and the rest of them. So we get to see Jones doing Russian accents. We know Tackleberry's loving all the nukes and stuff. He maybe takes a few for himself. Maybe he becomes president of Russia while he's there. I don't know. But the entire thing is them sort of, a spy thriller of them breaking in and will they actually disable the nukes or will they accidentally shoot them off and cause a nuclear holocaust? That's what you need to watch the movie to find out.
Wait and see.
And then we get a post-apocalyptic police academy movie.
Police apocalypse.
Yes. Well, next is
Post
one
it.
change.
Post police of lipstick. Never mind. Move on. Let's get out of here.
So, your one change to this movie.
My one change to this movie would be that when they reveal, do they call him by a name like the Mastermind? Do they call him by a certain moniker?
They call
I
them.
don't- Okay, so the reveal for the Mastermind at the end, when they take the mask off, it's actually Zed. Zed is the Mastermind. And then he immediately
Yes.
reverts to his weird language thing, and then he just keeps talking, and then it just while he's in the middle of talking, it just cuts, and that's the movie. That's it. You don't even know what he's
They
saying.
unmask him twice. First, with the mayor, and they unmask that.
Yeah. That's what I want.
Iconic.
They really just need Zed back.
They do. They're missing him.
I think I would just slightly alter the ending because as it was happening, I got so reminded of The Usual Suspects that I just wanted a Kaiser Soze, he disappears into the city and they never find out who really did it, sort of thing. But sadly, they just Scooby-Doo the mask off.
They do, yeah.
Yeah. I realized that would break the formula if they didn't catch the guy at the end, but I'm just looking for something here.
What my change would be is that Tackleberry Jr., the real life brother of Matilda from the movie Matilda, and the real life brother of the little kid from Mrs. Doubtfire. I want him to become a cop during the film and sort of just ride around on Tackleberry's shoulders shooting at people.
That's very specific.
More
I
shooting.
want that.
He's a real war
Isn't this
machine,
kid
guys.
insane?
Also, Tackleberry, I want them to let Tackleberry kill someone in the next film. He either needs to get it out of his system or he's going to become a mass murderer. There's no in between with Tackleberry.
Just one murder
Just let him get it out of his system.
to
In
appease the
Russia.
hunger, the thirst for blood.
He'll be in Russia. So I don't know what their laws are there.
It's all legal.
Everything.
All of it.
Okay. I would change. All All right, I've already called back to the pivotal scene where Harris and Proctor are on the window washing thing elevated outside of the skyscraper. There's a part of that where Harris like almost falls off, and we don't even really see the resolution. We just sort of run out of scene and just cuts back, and now he's back in a chair. I'm gonna play out that scene. He does fall, and the rest of the movie proceeds as normal, but he isn't a full body cast. He really doesn't say or do anything, but they like the pranks just continue to happen, but it's just happening to a man who's like,
Oh no. Poor Harris.
There's a lot of potential for that.
They move him to a different stretcher, and Hightower's.
Most of his face is bandaged, and at points you just see a single tear, a real close up, as his chair falls apart for the umpteenth time.
They go to move him to a different stretcher or whatever, and Hightower's like screwed the leg to where it'll fall.
Imagining they mess with the IV bag and they're like poking holes in it.
Oh my god.
Because
He starts seizing or something. He's like, ah. It's like falling, but over and over and over again.
Thing almost.
What do we have? Superlatives next?
Oh yeah.
It's hard because this movie sort of just does the same thing that the other two police academies have done.
I'm gonna say best Jimi Hendrix impersonation without any instruments.
That was like,
Fair enough, yeah.
Yeah.
I hope he was doing stuff on the side besides these movies. With
I
that.
think he was did stand-up comedy.
We should check out one of those.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why, but for a second I thought you were gonna say he like moonlit as like a crossing guard.
That would be wonderful. He's in commercials for Cadbury and Geico, apparently.
I have one if you guys need more time.
Yes, please.
I would say best avoidance of the destruction of a fruit stand. It was a close.
Very well executed.
Just go straight in. They were responsible.
I will say that I draw the line at bad jokes. I'll say that's to this point the most self-aware line of the Police Academy franchise. I'll give them credit for that one.
I see, now this is difficult because you try and find something that's so specific that it will never be beaten. And I'm worried that the one I have will almost certainly be beaten. I guess I'm gonna say least exciting set pieces in a Police Academy film. Because at least as horrible as 5 was, they were at a beach, and there were like swamps.
Jet skis.
This is just in a city. It's the most boring location I could possibly imagine. They're just on streets and in a sewer, like the whole movie.
Blowing up the grid.
I found out something that Michael Winslow Jones has done. In 2010, he debuted his own app for iPhone called That's Kung Fu, which when you swing the phone, it's his Kung Fu fighting sounds.
Oh, that's like the most iPod Touch, like gimmicky little thing. That's so 2010.
You said it was called Kung Fu?
That's Kung Fu.
That's Kung Fu.
Yeah.
We can only hope it's still alive.
But on Android, this is terrible.
Oh, that's Lung Fu. That's not right.
That's him imitating breathing.
I don't see it.
It may not be listed anymore, which is a real shame.
This is rarer than Flappy Bird.
Just go online to see if there's a iOS device out there somewhere that has That's Kung Fu still downloaded. You You say, all right, I'll give you 1,400.
A penny more.
It's a business expense.
This came into a decent sum of money. I want to use it in a smart way.
Investment in your future.
Exactly. And the device is actually just like a first gen iPod Touch. Like it can't even like run anything now. Just has some songs downloaded.
He also got to present an Oscar at one point
Oh wow.
for best sound effects editing.
Oh, that's nice.
That's funny. Yeah. Good for him. I wonder
He
who
gave
won.
it to Back to the Future in
He would have
1986.
chosen anyone.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Do I remember correctly? This was probably like on the fourth movie. What was it? Was he an actor before this? Maybe I'm misremembering. I feel like there was a trivia thing where like
he had been in a few things. Like he was in Cheech and Chong's next movie.
Gotcha. I must be misremembering then. I thought he was like some guy they just found.
He was the voice of Gremlins, apparently. It just says
The Gremlin.
Mugwai/Gremlins voice.
That's incredible. I love this man though.
He's pretty cool.
I need to ask him when Gremlins 3 is coming out.
We'll get him on the pod at some point.
I hope so.
We'll bring him and Nick Lutzko to talk about where the Gremlins went.
Yes. Where did the Gremlins go? Nick Lutzko was actually on that Stephen King podcast that I listened to, so
Oh, nice.
he's open to podcasting.
A fellow Tennessean,
Truly a Chattanoogan, yes, indeed.
Well, I guess we're at the point where we rate this movie.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Next question.
100% on
We lost.
Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, he's back.
Oh, I said 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Better than The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Yes.
Without a doubt.
They weren't making Casablanca here. They were making something better. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10 and say it deserved a 0%.
Yeah, I would say it deserves a 0%. I mean, honestly, like I don't remember when it was, but like I mean, it really has been a decent while since we watched the last one. So like I just don't even really remember. The one with the hot air balloon, I feel like that one was better than this one.
That was the fourth one.
Okay, yeah, that one was definitely better than this one, and I don't remember what I gave that one, but I think 3 is fair, but I'll probably just give it a 2. I don't. 1 seems too mean, but like there's just very little about it that is redeeming in my opinion. But
I think I would have to give it a 2, 2.5 maybe. At this point, just weighing it against the rest of the series, there's nothing redeeming about this movie.
yeah, I agree.
I think it deserves a 0%. Yeah, they're not building on anything at this point. I mean,
I mean,
at this point, we're 6 in, but
Yeah, and like you said, the location wasn't as good with this one, or it didn't really bring anything new. It was more so about the antagonist, which I mean, I guess
all
whatever,
of the jokes are completely derivative of the previous films.
completely.
It's the same jokes for 6 films.
I don't think it deserved 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. I would give it a 3.5. 3.5.
What?
I enjoyed this one quite a bit. I would say better than the other ones that I've seen. I would say in the upper half of the movies we've seen. I'm not saying it's a great film, but I don't think it takes itself all that seriously, and I think it's fine for what it is.
Okay, I can forgive these films a little bit more than some of the other ones because this was an 80-minute film, which I can forgive more than a 2-hour film.
That is very true. When I saw this 83 minutes, I was like, okay, like this is digestible.
Like
Maybe.
when we watch a 2-hour film that's better, like a 0% film that's better, I can't even really think of any off the top of my head.
How long?
I'll be more critical of them than this.
How long was Highlander 2?
I think that was an hour 50. But that was just fun all the way through.
It's just a romp, yeah.
Romp.
But the people don't know that yet.
Yeah. They don't know what we're talking about.
They have no idea.
They've never heard of Highlander.
They're caught in the past.
Well, our next movie is Return to Blue Lagoon from 1991.
Yes.
We've also got that 10-episode retrospective, which at the time of filming this, we have watched 20 movies, even though I'm assuming this one will come out before.
Yeah,
the
I'm putting
21.
this one out sequentially, so
Yeah.
it'll come out. It'll be the next one that comes out after Dream a Little Dream.
Right. So, next one from this movie is Problem Child.
It sounds really good. What's that like?
It's got John Ritter.
Nice.
Movie.
I like Kristen Ritter.
Well, we've done it again.
Parker, thank you for coming on and
Thank
breaking
you.
round 3 of Police Academy.
Yeah, of course. This is a lot of fun. It's enjoyable to just have a reason to talk about it and just talk about something at all. But yeah, I am interested to see how they get in Moscow. I mean, that's definitely like a little bit of a jump as far as settings. So we'll see. I'm sure it'll be either something really just lame or just something really ridiculous. So hopefully it's the latter, but we'll see. I mean, there's a pretty big gap between this one and Mission Moscow. I think it was like 5 years or so. So yeah, we'll see if it
How did they get?
if it killed the Police Academy series or if it was already coming.
Why did the Russian government let these people be cops for them?
Yeah, who knows? We'll just have to wait and see. There's probably some vodka jokes in there. I would bet on that.
Oh yeah.
That's a brave bet.
They did lose a lot of people after this one though.
Really? Okay.
Let me see if I can find the list real quick.
Not Jones.
They were
last
told
time
during the making of Police Academy 6.
this is the last time Police Academy 6 is the last time you see Hightower, Hooks, Nick Lassard, Sergeant Fackler, Hurst, and Proctor.
Dang.
So yeah, they lost a lot of people after this one. But we still got Tackleberry and Jones.
And Harris, right?
And Harris, yeah, I would say that's
And I think Commandant Lassard as well. So there's still some good ones.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, I look forward to it.
Oh yeah.
certainly.
Oh, Parker, do you want to plug anything in these last 9 seconds?
No, I'm not doing anything fun or interesting.
Okay, cool. Me.
No, I'm really not right now. I'm good. Yep.
All right, cool.
Cool.
Later, y'all.